Hello, students. I We had a discussion board for this week, and there were about 4 or 5 questions that we had to answer. And I decided to make a lecture about these questions. I brought them into ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT to expand on them. That way, I can have some subjects to talk about. And one of the first question is what marketing strategies are most cost effective to for startups, because startups usually don't have a lot of money, and therefore at a smaller scale, of course, some startups might have a lot of money, but let's say at our level, therefore, let's see, I sometimes I use Eastern College as an example of, think about it, as a company that had started. Eastern College, in fact, started 26 7 years ago. And when we look at here, and then let's think about you, let's say if you want to start a new company, how are you going to conduct your market research to see whether it is feasible to start up your company or not? Of course, you can do the surveys and interviews and focus groups, online research, and observation of customer behavior. And of course, here in the, let's say, in rural area of the state, it's a little bit a challenge if we try to think about we are going to use surveys, interviews. I believe in these interviews, but not necessarily with, it would be somewhat challenging if we try to go to, the best way sometimes, if you ask me, in terms of interviews, go and talk to experts. There are people, let's say in Moorfield area, you want to start a coffee shop. If you want to do that, you go to someone who already has information, who has lived in the area. In fact, someone started a coffee shop many years ago in Moorfield, and he spent so much money. I don't know, $100,000. He was hoping that he could sell a lot of coffees, with $3 or $4 a cup. 20 years ago, nobody would pay, didn't want to, pay $2 or $4 for a coffee in Morphe. That was too much. You know what his problem was? He didn't collect enough information. He just, looked at Washington D.C. area, saw some fancy coffee shops, and decided to start his own business. And that, of course, therefore, the more research you do, the better it is. And if he had come to me, I would have told him not to do that. In fact, I had a student who came to me with the same idea after that guy went bankrupt. But that student was smart to come to me because I already had the information. I discouraged her. And then she went and started another business and was very successful. She decided on her own about her other business, and she did very well. Therefore, it is important to do a complete market research, and don't try just to guess and work on emotions. And therefore, the more you know about the area, the more you know about the customers, the better it is. And then market segmentation, which means when you have a product, you have a service, you can look at target certain age groups, and you can, are these for younger people, are these for children, are these, and think about the lifestyle of the people, and buying power behavior. We just talked about the coffee shop in Moorfield. I have seen similar coffee shop in Tucker County, in not Davis, this town close to Thomas. It's doing great. There is a coffee shop there, and it's selling, its coffee for $4, $5 a cup, and the people give tip. Why it works in there, it doesn't work in Moorfield? Maybe there we have a lot of tourists coming from other areas, and these tourists have a lot of money. They come for a ski resort, they stop there or whatever. They want to see the nature. Therefore, You have to understand that the same coffee shop that doesn't work in Morfield, it works in Thomas. Therefore, it is also, think about geographic locations, of course, very important that where are you located? Is it a populated area or not? If it is not, what products can sell in areas that are not populated? Then we another issue develop customer persona. Look at your customers. Are they young? Are they high school students? Are they what is their age and their income? The more you know about these customers, and then their shopping habits. Are they shopping online? Are they coming to your store? And therefore, these are the issues that you have to do before you start. The more research you do, the better it is. And then evaluate market attentiveness. Should choose customers segments that have enough customer. Therefore, very important. Now imagine that we have McDonald's in Moorfield. Of course, McDonald's is a popular brand. You might say if it's rural, but we know that the people, they look to see. We don't have any more McDonald's close by. The closest in Petersburg, almost 14 miles away. Therefore, they look at how many people live in Moorfield and how many people pass through area, through the highway that stop. They try to have some guesses of traffic, some guesses of, therefore, it doesn't mean that if we are in rural area, doesn't mean necessarily we are not going to have any customers. It's a matter of just knowing what products, what location, what price, and these are the 4 P's of marketing that you have already hopefully learned about, in the marketing class. And whether it is a new product or the customers, able to afford it and are accessible through marketing. Therefore, these are the issues. Position the product. And example, Tesla targeted environmentally conscious high income customers. Therefore, you have to think about who your customers are, what are their capabilities, and this is, targeting the market, certain prices. I have seen in Moorfield, for example, you have to see what the people like, what their preferences are, what products they use. Suppose if you look at the dealerships, for example, in this area, in Moorfield, we have Weimer, for example. And if you see the dealership usually is specialized in American cars, because here the people prefer to have these types of cars. But if you go to some areas that, let's say in I don't know, South Florida, where there are many Spanish people, these Spanish people usually prefer Japanese cars. Honda and Toyota, very popular. Why very popular? Because these cars are very popular in their own countries. For example, if someone is from let's say Mexico, or someone is from El Salvador, they have a lot of Honda and Toyota and Nissan there. When they come to the US, as many of them are in southern part of the country, in southern Texas, southern New Mexico, southern Florida, California, and these people, when they come here, they like to buy the same cars that they buy in their countries. Therefore, if you are opening a dealership in those areas, you do much better if it is, a Japanese car compared, for example, to American car. But here, if someone opens a Honda dealership, most likely won't be doing as well as what Weimer is doing. Therefore, and also market strategies are most effective, cost effective, and social media. The more you know about these tools, the better it is, because they are not expensive. Easily it can reach out. I am sure many of you are familiar with Facebook. Most likely you don't have YouTube account. You watch YouTube, but you can publish to them. Instagram, some students have, some don't. LinkedIn and TikTok. Therefore, connect marketing. Therefore, create valuable content such as videos. I really like this one. Yesterday, I was trying to buy some products from Amazon. They had written product specification, but interestingly, if you look at them, many of them have videos. You click on it, a person comes and talks about the features of the product, and that's a great tool. And then search engine optimization to make sure that the products are being searchable and how the more people can through their website access the link to your website and learn about it. Therefore, these are the things that you have to learn. Email marketing. This email marketing doesn't mean that you have to send junk mail to people. And if you go to your, let's say, Yahoo account, Gmail account, sometimes you see some ads pop up, above, Therefore, there are different ways of reaching the customers and referral market. Happy customers recommend products to family and friends. One of the companies that never used any advertising and it expanded through word of mouth is Google. Google, I never, when they started their products, their service was so great that they didn't even need advertising. The people went and used and told their friends and friends. Therefore, that became, the people became their ambassadors. Partnerships, very important. Strategic partnerships, very, it can, suppose you start a business, let's say you start your own restaurant, and suddenly you can partner with a bank or with a, with, for example, a chicken plant we have in Moorfield, poultry plant. You partner with them. If you partner with them, they come and say, okay, bring your truck, bring your food here, sell it in our plant. Therefore, those strategic partnerships are very important, and sometimes you don't need a lot of money to start these strategic partnerships with other businesses. They are the ones who are going to help you to promote your business. There is a benefit for them, there is a benefit for you. It's like a win-win for both of you. How does branding influence customer perception? Branding is very important. So that, for example, this company Apple is known as one of the companies that has loyal customers. Loyal customers means that if suppose you have a MacBook, for example, computer, then when you have it, you don't in the future try to switch to a, for example, Dell computer, because it's a loyalty customer. If you have an iPhone, you try next time you want to buy another phone, you keep that iPhone. Or if you are a Coke drinker, you don't try to switch from Coke to Pepsi, go back to other, companies. That branding, that loyalty plays a major role for computer companies to be successful. And competitive advantage is that it says that if two products have the same quality, the people choose the stronger brand, which is reasonable. Let's say you have to, you have to buy a car that is, well known, like a Ford, for example. Another company it doesn't have a brand name recognition, and the products is the same. They are the engine, their gas, the mileage, whatever. But of course, you go after the name that you know and the people know, and that is, a stronger brand. And we talked about customer loyalty. That is how important it is. Customer feedback. Yesterday I was in Amazon. You always look at those yellow ranking of the products, for example. If they are five stars, all of them yellow, 4.5 or whatever. You look at how the customers, talk about the products, and that again has a major impact. Therefore, entrepreneurs, when they want to start their own business, they should look at these products, these services, and the more research they do, the more chances of success they have. Many new businesses, many new ventures, fail because the entrepreneurs, those who start up, first they get into things that they are not that much familiar with. It's okay if you want to go after new, but do a lot of research and make sure that you get as much information as you can. And the digital marketing is very important, and therefore you have to learn about all of this. One of the most important thing, I heard someone who gave a good advice, said that entrepreneurs also use ChatGPT a lot to learn and these days, 10, 20 years ago, these tools were not available to people, and see how it made my life easy in terms of giving this lecture. this product, these things that ChatGPT provided for me made my life easy. If I wanted to get and collect this information that I talked today, I had to spend days to collect this. Easily, I asked ChatGPT to find it for me. This is the same as business. Try to see if you want to start a business, try to use technology, try to use AI as much as you can, try to collect your information on the field, in the field, and through the AI. And that's the way to get these companies started.